Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to our show race previews on this Friday. And warm welcome to our racing consultant, Devon Habib, and my dear friend. How have you been?
Yeah, how you doing? Yeah,
Fine, thanks.
It's
And
all
you?
good. Yeah, thank you so much for the warm welcome. Yeah, it's been quite a while since we've done a show. I mean, I was in South Africa for a few weeks, so yeah, we're back on board, and I'm ready to lead the punters in the right direction. I missed being on the show, so yeah, I'm quite excited to go through this program with you.
Very happy to have you back again.
Yeah, please just excuse the voice. I've got a little bit of the flu on my side, so hopefully I don't sound a bit hard for other people to understand.
So before starting, I'd like to remind our viewers that first race are at 3.25 meters and the track reading is 2.8 normal. Starting with race 1, the Wheel of My Boo Volunteer Cup, a race which will be run over 1365 meters, 0 to 20 with 5 runners. Number 1, Moon Jumper, number 2, After the Order, number 3, De La Vista, number 4, Romanus, and number 5, Duke of Abercorn. Devon, I'd ask you about your selection for this race.
Yeah, look, Ria, it's a very difficult race. I mean, the first race, as we all know, it's always difficult. I don't really like the first races, but I'm going to allude to a horse like number 2, After the Order. I mean, follow the Peaky Blinders team, and I think this is the right race, the right race for this horse. I mean, it ran a very good close-up fourth, a length and a half behind Varticus, and I think Varticus is a very smart animal. I mean, we can see his run last time. It was a really, really promising run, and I do think he's got a massive chance.
And what do you think about number 3, De La Vista, who got the first draw?
Yeah, look, we're watching the race of After the Order, and he's at the back of the field with the red cap and the yellow. I mean, yeah, I was a little bit worried that this horse is going to struggle with the Princess's first ride, but I think it ran a very good race with him, and it was running on at the back end of things. I mean, you can see
That was
he's
on
got
90 meters.
he's got no chance in this race, and to run a place, and if you see where it finishes, I can't not have this as one of my value bets for the day. I mean, he goes 4 wide, 5 wide, if not 10 wide, and yeah, he's making up a lot of ground. I mean, it was his first ride, so we can understand, but I mean, they've still got no chance to run a place, and looks like it's almost going to win. So it runs a really, really good race. So you can see it's flying there at the end, and I mean, just gets beat for third. Massive runner. I think the 1365 is going to suit him, an extra 375 meters. Definitely going to suit this horse. I'll make him quite hard to beat.
And for the second place?
For second, De La Vista. Draw 1, claim 4. Look, I'm not sure how many rides this jockey's had. I'm not sure if it's his first ride either. Second ride, yeah. And I'd like to see him improving. I mean, his last run was very disappointing.
And the horse is fitted with blinkers for the first time.
I think that could maybe give him the improvement he needs. I mean, he is a really, really nice horse. I do like him as a horse. I just very, very disappointing form of late. But Ricky Mangard's got his stable in really, really good form. And I think with draw 1, he's a horse that we can't leave out.
And what do you think about number 3, Romanus?
Look, Romanus has always been one of my favorite horses in Mauritius back in the day. I mean, yes, he's getting a bit old now, but this is the type of horse that's been running against a lot stronger.
And he's down in class.
He's down in class. He's got a chance. Surely has to have a chance. He's got claim 4 up.
This will be apprentice Paya's first ride.
It is his first ride, and I mean, look, I'm not too sure how they're gonna go, but I hope for him he could bang a place, if not win. It will be nice for his first ride. But yeah, I think it's a very, very tough race, saying that. But After the Order's last run, very, very promising.
And which horse to complete the quartet?
Look, for me, it was like Moon Jumper definitely has to have a chance, and Duke of Abercorn has to have a chance. But I mean, it's between the two of them. Yeah, it's not much separating the two of them.
So I'd remind our viewers, Devon's selection for the win, number 2 after the order, number 3 De La Vista, number 4 Romanus, and number 1 Moonjumper.
No, we put number 5
Number
for fourth,
5
yeah.
Duke of
Duke of
Abercorn.
Abercorn.
Moving on to race 2, the Cottage Vedanan Bhavan Cup race, which will be run over 1600 meters, benchmark 31 with 6 runners. Number 1, Believe in the Future, number 2, Eagle's Vision, number 3, Kalgoorlie, number 4, Viking Trail, number 5, Gigin, and number 6, It Dawn on Me. Your pick for the win here, Devon.
Yeah, look, this was number 1. He's a bit of value for me in this race at 5-1. I know he might not be the right horse in everyone else's eyes, but I think this is a very smart animal. I really like him. I think he's a very, very nice horse, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him enjoying the 1600 and running a massive, massive race. I mean, I know he needs a little bit further even, but I'll make this my value bet on the day. I think he's a big, big runner. Stephen O'Donoghue up, the leading jockey at the moment, draw 2, and I think Urchin Stable's going to be in hot form, so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him winning quite well. I mean, we can watch his last run, and we can see that he's run a good race. But if you take that into consideration, he ran behind Arlington's Revenge. It's strong form from that race. So I think, yeah, he's got a definite chance, and he's dropping in class from a 46, 36, and now 31. Definitely a big runner.
And now for the placings.
For second, Eagle's Vision. I think massive, massive runner. I do like this horse. Always liked him. You know, he's one of our favorites.
Quite a consistent one.
He's consistent. And look, I spoke to Nagadu. He said the horse is in good form. So I think he's a definite runner.
And what about...
we can see his last run, yeah. This is Eagle's Vision. And he's definitely a massive, massive runner. So yeah, I think he's at the back of the field with the silver cap, and yeah, he's a bit outpaced, but he makes up big ground, and I think definitely the horse that they all have to beat. It was a very, very slow run race, and it was very difficult for horse to make up the ground. So I'm gonna actually draw a line through his finishing. You know, I think he's the type of horse that can finish a lot stronger than that. I mean, yes, he got beat by 6 lengths, but very, very slow run race, and it was very difficult for them to actually make up the ground after they did what they did. But look, he ran a promising second. He's always been there, and I think he's a horse that will definitely be the biggest danger, 100%.
Kalgoorlie, superb finish on last outing to finish second behind winner Sandpuff. He improved further.
Yeah, look, Kalgoorlie, he is a nice horse. I did like the way he ran last time, and I do think he is a big runner. Definitely has to have a chance with form like that. The draw's a little bit negative, but he's a big runner, 100%.
And finally, to complete the quartet.
To complete the quartet, I'm going with number 5, Gigin. Yes, he won last time. He beat Spiritual Wind. He was very good for that field. He's stepping up in class again. I think he'll be competitive, but I don't know how competitive he's going to be. I think it's a tough race.
So your selections are for race 2, for the win, number 1, Believe in the Future, and for the placings, number 2, Eagle's Vision, number 3, Kalgoorlie, and finally, number 5, Gigin. Race 3, the SSO Disability Services Center Cup, which will be run with 5 runners over 1850 meters in benchmark 41. Number 1, Christmas Bay. Number 2, High Key. Number 3, Arlington's Revenge. Number 4, Divergent. And number 5, Flowerscape. Your choice here, Devon.
Look, I'm very strong on this horse, Christmas Bay. I think this horse will win. I think it's had 2 runs for the season. He's cherry ripe, 1850, distance down his alley. I think it's going to be extremely hard to beat this horse. I'll make him one of my better bets on the day. Value bet for this day. It could be a best bet for me. I don't see much beating him. I know there's a horse that's got big talk in the race, Divergent, but yeah, I think this is the horse that they all have to beat. I liked him strong last year when he won 2 in a row. I'm going to like him again. I think he's ready. He's ready to win. You can see his last run. He's got the red and blue on turn 1. Definitely a big runner. And now he's going an extra 250 meters. Dropped in class back to 41. I think they're going to be very, very hard to beat him.
So I think he must be taken seriously this time, again with
Most
Taka, your
definitely.
favorite on board.
And Derby's horses in really, really good form. So,
yeah.
I mean, the horses are running extremely well and they're winning very well. I mean, you can see this horse, he ran a really good race. He ran 5th behind Magnum PR. Magnum PR is a very nice horse. It's coming up later in the day. And I think definitely the one that they all have to beat is number 1, Christmas Bay.
And what about number 4, Divergent, with Stefan Denouillot on board, 4th draw and 1 win and 2 placings in his 3 outings here.
Yeah, look, Divergent's a smart horse. He's a Frankel. I mean, we can't allude more to the fact that Frankels are probably the best horses in the world. I still think Frankel is the best horse in the world. I don't think anything will ever come close to him. So if his progeny is anything like him, definitely horses that they all have to look out for. He's got decent form. His last 3 runs have been promising. I just think, yes, he beat Christmas Bay, but I don't think he's going to beat Christmas Bay over 1850.
And for the 3rd place?
For 3rd, I'm going with number 3, Arlington's Revenge. Definitely a horse that can turn it on. And now with the extra distance, the claim, draw 2, I think he's a big runner. Definitely a big runner.
And what about number 2, High Key from Shirish Narang stable, 3rd draw, down in class but stepping up in distance?
Yeah, look, I like this horse, High Key. I think he's a nice horse. Very unlucky always gets done, always gets hard luck stories, always gets left or something like that.
Needs circumstances.
Yeah, he's always got a problem, but I think he's definitely a horse that can turn it on. The 1850 is probably the right distance for him. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him run in a big race. Just a bit like negative that he ran such a bad race last time, but he hit the rail at the 300, and I think that could have cost him quite a bit. So, yeah, I think don't leave this horse out your places.
So number 1, Christmas Bay for the win and for the placings. Number 4, Divergent. Number 3, Arlington's Revenge. And finally, High Key for the placings. Moving on to race 4, the Equire Youth Group Club Cup. Over 1500 meters, 0 to 26 with 9 runners. Number 1, Benny de Dieu. Number 2, Sun and Stral. Number 3, Carino Bello. Number 4, Call of Money. Number 5, Pete the Pilot. Number 6, Ravishing Rambo. Number 7, Hidden Identity. Number 8, Quest for Good. And number 9, Smuts. Devon, your pick here.
Look, I like number 7, Hidden Identity. I think this is the horse that they all definitely have to beat. He's a very, very smart animal. The further he goes, the better he gets. I think he's the horse that they all have to beat. Definitely the right horse in the race. I make him a big runner, and I would be very surprised to see him getting beat today.
So can we look at his last performance?
No, most definitely. He's in the blue and the
black and white.
The black and white. Sorry, man, not the blue and white.
He looks like a banker on paper.
Yeah, he definitely does. The odds definitely suggest that he's a banker. He's at 180, so 7, 8 to 10. And he's definitely a big runner.
And what about...
He's in front at the moment, and I'm actually quite surprised to see him in front because he comes from behind. So I think this horse could be very versatile. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't be surprised to see him running and winning a big race. I mean, he got beat by a nice horse of San Andreas, who's been in really hard form.
He could have won this race last time.
Yeah, he was very unlucky.
Bad ride from the apprentice, I think.
Look, I don't know so much. I just think going to the front could have maybe cost him a bit too much. So yeah, definitely, like you said, bad ride.
He made his move early.
He made his move early, 100%. I mean, he's got Donny up now, very experienced jockey, and I think he's definitely a big runner.
And number 1, Benny de Dieu.
Yeah, look, I've always liked Benny de Dieu. I always think he's a smart horse, and Nagadu thinks he's in a really good space. and I wouldn't be surprised to see him running there. I don't know if he can beat it in identity, but I think he'll definitely be in the first two.
Place chance.
No, I think first two. I think he's
Yeah.
the biggest danger to the 7, but definitely a place chance, 100%.
And cut-off money from Mahadia's stable, third outing. Do you think he can take on this field if he goes in the front?
Look, he's a smart horse. I mean, he's run 2 really good races. Gold standards are very nice horses in South Africa. I do like him. I do think he's a big runner. I like it when a horse has its third run after layoff. You know that I've always been a fan of that. So I think he's definitely a massive runner. He's going the extra distance. He ran second to a very smart horse of Alpine Challenge. The saddle slipped his first start. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him running into the first 3. He could possibly win it. We don't know how good he is. He could be a champion. Mahdia Stable's in hot form. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him running a massive race.
And for the 4th place?
For 4th, a horse like Sonnestrahl. He's been running competitively this season.
Beaten favourite last time as well.
Yeah, but I mean, Hard Falling Rain was also the right horse in the race. And I think this maybe extra distance is going to suit him. I think he's a nice horse. I mean, he's done nothing wrong. His form suggests that he's a good horse, and I think he'll third run as well go massively close.
So number 7, Hidden Identity for the win and for the placings. Number 1, Benny de Dieu. Number 4, Call of Money, and number 2, Sonnestrahl. Moving on to race 5, the Aide Info Liberté Espoir et Solidarité L Cup. With 5 runners only, over 1600 meters, benchmark 51 with number 1, Tower of Wisdom, number 2, Magnum PI, number 3, Seattle Kid, number 4, Chosen Way, and number 5, Prospect. Devon, your favorite for the win here?
Yeah, we're going to have a bit of a debate, yeah. I think Chosen Way is the bank of the day. I think he's the right horse in the race. I'm very, very confident on Chosen Way. I don't think they can beat him. You obviously suggest earlier, you told me that
I like
Magnum
PI with the second draw, like already 4 wins and 2 placings here in 6 outings, improving sort. And though he's up in class, but by watching his last performance, I think he can make it.
Look, I mean, it's a 2-horse race in my opinion. I think it's between the 2 and the 4, most definitely. For me, Chosen Way will get the better. I think he's the better horse.
We see that tomorrow.
He's a very smart animal. The way he turned it on last time, you can see his last run. Very, very impressive. He's got the green and black colours and with the red cap. Very, very hard to beat this horse in my opinion.
Win last time.
Very convincing. He was very
same for
smart.
Magnum PI.
Yeah, I mean, they both beat the same horses. So if you draw a line through their collateral form line, I think I got the better of you. I got 0.25, you got 0.15. So
let us see tomorrow.
0.10, we're there. I mean, we're gonna race for a chocolate. I mean, the last time we raced for a chocolate, I think I won, eh? Just saying.
So we can do that. So now we can see the performance of Chosen Way.
I mean, his turn of foot, that last 200, 300 meters, is just
right?
It's unbelievable. I mean, look at him. He just pulls away from this field. He's got a lot in hand. Definitely, it was a good ride from Donahue that day, and I don't see much beating him. I think he's the right horse in the race. I think it'll run 4-2 in that order.
41 to 51, and Magnum PI from 46 to 51. Not much.
Not much,
but
if you draw the line through the liaison,
yeah,
the last run, I think.
Okay, so let's see this tomorrow.
Most definitely.
And for the 3rd place.
For 3rd, so obviously we're saying Magnum PI for 2nd.
Yeah.
I'm confident to say that. And for 3rd, I think Seattle Kid. Can't ignore the fact that Derby's horses are also running extremely well. Tucker's in good form as well. Draw 1, yeah, he's definitely.
Top draw, yeah.
He's a smart horse. He's actually in the right class now. I think he's come down from a 56 to a 51. Got beat by a very smart horse last time of 3-1. And behind that, I mean, the time before that, he got beat to Prince Alf. I mean, Prince Alf came out and won a very smashing race last weekend. So, yeah, I think definitely the horse that they all have to watch out for is number 3.
And for the 4th place, I like Tower of Wisdom.
Tower of Wisdom as well. Coming down in class, got claim 4. Yes, he's a smart horse.
He ran in very good company.
He's run against probably the best in this class, you know. So in this distance, so I think he's a very nice horse. I wouldn't be surprised to see him running a big race, but yeah, I don't know. I think the right horse in the race definitely is Chosen Way. I think he's a progressive sort, and I think he'll be continuing. I mean, the last time Donny rode him, he won 3 on him, so I think he's going to follow that trend.
So for the win, number 4, Chosen Way, and for the placings, number 2, Magnum PI, number 3, Seattle Kid, and number 1, Tower of Wisdom. We'll now move on to race 6, the main race of the day, the SMP Media and Studio Team Cup, with 5 runners over 1400 meters, 50 plus. Number 1, Wars of Dubrovnik, number 2, the Charlie, number 3, the Dazzler, number 4, Idita Road Trail, and number 5, Courtroom Magic. Devon, do I need to ask you about your favorite for the win here?
To be honest, I think Stevie Wonder could have found this one. That's very hard to miss it. I don't think we have to even mention anything else. In my opinion, I think he's the best horse, one of the best horses in Mauritius. Definitely number 1, Walls of Dubrovnik. I've always loved him as a horse. I think he's very, very smart. Yes, Dutch Ali ran a very good race last time. He won a good race, but nothing's beating Walls of Dubrovnik.
So Dutch Ali for the second place.
Dutch Ali for second. You can see Walls of Dubrovnik's win last time. I mean, we all know he's a good horse. I just like to watch him. I think he's very, very smart. He's got the black and the yellow colors, and yeah, I think very, very smart animal. I wouldn't be surprised to see him getting a 3-4 length win on this field. I really, really like this horse. He was very unlucky when he got beat that day. He came from off them. So only time he's ever been beaten in Mauritius, and yeah, I think definitely one of the best we've seen in Mauritius. His turn of foot is just unbelievable, honestly. It's honestly unbelievable. Look at him.
And on his first outing, I think he wasn't 100% fit that day.
Yeah, most definitely. Look at his second run. That's the only negative we can find from this horse, second run after
rest syndrome.
But I don't think there's a negative for him. I think he's just a very smart animal. For second, we're going to go with Dutch Ali. Draw 1. Form was very good last time. Good run. For third, I'm going to go with number 3. I'm going to go with a bit of an outsider, the Dazzler. I think he'll run a nice race. He's improving. His last run was very impressive. So, yeah, I'm going to tip him for third. And for fourth, I'd be stupid to leave out a horse like Courtroom Magic. I think this is a nice horse, very smart animal. I just don't know if he's going to be able to beat Walls of Dubrovnik and Dutch Ali. 100%. Not easy this time, but he is a nice horse. Most definitely.
For the win, number 1, Walls of Dubrovnik, and for the placings, number 2, the Charlie, number 3, the Dazzler, and number 5, Courtroom Magic.
Yep, most definitely.
And now the Port Louis South Senior Citizen Association Cup, race 7, which will be run over 1365 meters in benchmark 31, with number 1, Hard Falling Rain, number 2, Gang Leader, number 3, Good Birdie, number 4, Oxford Blue, number 5, Captain Persia, number 6, Winter God, number 7, Captain's Foot, and number 8, Superior Force. Your pick here for the win?
Yeah, I've tipped this horse twice, and he's won twice. I'm going to tip him again, Hard Falling Rain.
So he's going to make a treble.
Yes, his second run after layoff is the only negative, but Derby's got his stable hot form. I do like the way the horses are running. I think
he's got all in his favor, I think.
When they go to the front, they skip 2-3 lengths clear. They don't catch them. So I think he's the horse that's going to go to the front, skip 2-3 lengths clear, and stay there. I don't see much.
But I think now Apprentice Tucker does not get any claims, so he'll be having the top weight, 61.5 kg. Do you think this could be a disadvantage? I don't think it's going to be a disadvantage. I think this is a smart animal. Definitely the one that they all have to beat. But yeah, he's a big runner. Nice horse. Draw 1. What more do you want? I mean, 1365, jump, go, stay there. Looks like an easy win on paper.
100%. And I think it will be an easy one on the grass as well. I know they don't run on paper, but they run on grass. And I think definitely the horse that they all have to beat.
And Captain Persia for the second place?
Yeah, speaking about Captain Persia, obviously I'd like to have my deepest sympathies to the Pedro stable.
Yes,
very sad news that we got yesterday with the passing of Mr. Alan Pedro,
trainer, Mr.
and
Alan Pedro, yeah.
it's Yannick's dad. My deepest sympathies go out to him and his family, and in the sad time of their life, I hope that they can find the strength and the comfort to move forward and to accept what's happened. I mean, it's very, very, very sad. I mean, he's a very nice man. I used to see him every day, and yeah, I think it's a big loss to the racing industry. So on behalf of myself and everyone else that's involved in racing, our deepest condolences and sympathies to him and his family. I mean, it would be very fitting if he could win this race for his dad. I do think this horse has a chance. Captain Persia, it's been knocking at the door.
If there is pace in the race, if
there's pace, there's definitely going to be pace. I mean, you got Hard Falling Rain, gang leader, they're going to go to the front.
So
I mean, you've even got a horse like Good Buddy that does try to get up there. I think Captain Persia could be running at them at the end. I don't know if they're going to be able to beat Hard Falling Rain. I mean, I've tipped him to run second. I wouldn't be upset if he wins, because it would be fitting for Yannick and his stable and his dad. But I think it's going to be quite difficult to beat Hard Falling Rain, in my opinion.
And what about number 8, Superior Force, which will be fitted with tongue tie for the first time. Second row, Platini on board. He's stepping up in distance.
The only thing that's put me off this horse is the second run. I hate the second run.
Moreover, he was green on his first outing throughout the race.
Yeah, very, very green. He's a nice horse. I mean, he's run behind Cousin Casey.
But
we don't have to mention much more about his form. I mean, there's no Cousin Casey in this race. But Cousin Casey, he's over 1,400, 1,600. This horse does one further. I don't like the second run. I'm gonna give him a miss this time. If he wins, he's just very, very smart horse. But he's got the tongue tie on, if I'm not mistaken, for the first time as well. So, look, it could improve him. What more do you need to improve? He ran a good race first time out behind a strong field. But yeah, I think I'm going to give him one more run.
And finally, number 4, Oxford Blue from Dominic Zaki's stable with Baudeté on board. He's back after more than 2 months, but he's a horse which runs well fresh.
Yes, he runs well fresh. He's won at 1365 before. Definitely a smart horse. He is a nice horse. He looks well. I saw him yesterday. He's in a really, really good space, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him running a big race. I mean, he ran behind, well, he beat Desert Boy 2 lengths, and then it was a bit of a disappointing run when he ran to Flowerscape. But I mean, Flowerscape came out and ran a really good race after that. So, yes, saying that, I mean, he's beaten Johan Miss. Johan Miss just came out and won. He ran second to Duodare. He's got good form. So, yeah, I think he could be running on, but might need 1 or 2 more runs after this.
So for the win, number 1, Hard Falling Rain, and for the placings, number 5, Captain Persia, number 8, Superior Force, and number 4, Oxford Blue. We'll now move on to the last and 8th race of the day for tomorrow, the Royal Life Saving Society Mauritius Cup, with 10 runners. Number 1, One Day Odewan, number 2, Jetstream, number 3, Moroccan Retreat, number 4, Ascent Puff, number 5, Stage World, number 6, Ticket to Cairo, number 7, James Peter, number 8, Bon Voyage, number 9, Captain Cola, and number 10, Noble Trip. This race will be run over 1,400 meters in benchmark 36. Your choice here, Devon.
Look, I'm going with a little bit of a value in this race. So also it's at 650. Number 3, Moroccan Retreat.
Even though he's stepping up in class.
Yes, he's stepping up in class. He is a smart horse. He's been winning really well. The only negative for me is the draw.
9.
If he was drawn 1, he'd be 400, 300, you know. I think the draw puts him at 650. In my opinion, I think he's going to overcome that draw. He's going to jump and go. I think Donohue's going to be in hot form, going for maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 winners on the day. Definitely the horse that they will have to beat, in my opinion. It's a strong race, difficult field.
A very open race.
But I feel like every time this horse runs against a stronger field, he runs a really good race. So he stepped up in class big time. But I think he can do it. I think he's an improving horse. And I think he'll go very close.
And for the second place?
For second, I'm going to tip a horse like Bon Voyage. I mean, 3rd run off the layoff. He won his last start. I think he's a nice horse.
Last time he went in front easily with the first
Yeah,
draw.
and he just stayed there. He skipped 3 lengths clear and 2 lengths clear,
And
he-
this time will it be
they weren't going to
easy?
beat him. Yeah. I mean, we can watch the rerun of a horse like Moroccan Retreat, and you can see that it's really a nice horse. I mean, he's got the blue with the yellow and white, so he's definitely a horse that we all have to watch out for. He's drawn 4. I'm bouncing back to Moroccan Retreat. Yeah, sorry. I just think a type of horse like this that can turn it on. He's definitely a horse that they'll have to watch out for. I mean, he's definitely
The
improving.
dark horse of the race?
Yeah, and he's improving. I mean, you can see his runs. It's improving massively. He's in front now, got a nice lead, and it was a good ride that day. So
He
I
lost
think,
by only 0.70 length, right?
I mean, the horse that beat him
Struck
looked hard
differently.
to beat that day. You know, I mean, it won very convincingly. So I wouldn't. I mean, that's almost a win without a massive penalty. So yeah, I think he got 1 point for running second that day, and I see him going close again. Yeah. I mean, when they turned for home, I thought he's going to win it, but I mean, the way that horse turned on the engines at the 300. Chapter and verse, it was hard to beat him on the day. You can see, I mean, he gets the run of the race, and behind him is chapter and verse. Just pulls past him like there was. Yeah, look, the field is strong, but I think he's a nice horse. I think he's improving. I mean, I might be wrong. I might be tipping. You can see he comes back a little bit at the end there. I might be completely off the board here, but I do see him running a massive race. He loves the 1400. He's won it twice. He's in good form. Ramona Stable's in hot form as well. So yeah, I think he's going to run a big race.
We already talked about Bon Voyage. And for the third place?
For that, I'm going to go with number 1, One Day or Day One. Very unlucky horse. He's run second to Instinctive Power, second to Chosen Way, second to Nikhil's in. I mean, these are really smart horses. He's working extremely well, as we can see, and I think he can run a really good race here. He's in a good space. Nagadu's happy with him. Drawn 2. I wouldn't be surprised to see him winning with form like that.
He's always been consistent. He's
Very
always been
consistent.
there.
I mean,
on
we've
the
always
finishing
liked him
line,
as a horse.
yeah.
He's been one of our favorite
Yes,
horses.
mine too.
So, yeah, I think he'll go very close.
And what about number 5, Stage World? Blinkers back on first draw, and he's down, stepping down to 1400 meters. Do you think it might be too sharp for the horse?
No, I think it might be perfect for him. I don't like the second run. So the second run off the layoff proved that he ran third.
Yeah.
Not the same run that he had his first run, but yeah, definitely a big runner. He'll be in the first 4 in my opinion. It's a tough race. He's got draw 1. I think he can be there. He'll get a nice front position. Not going to be fighting for it. I mean, he's going to be fighting with Moroccan Retreat for first, or for the lead. I think it's going to be a good race. Tough race.
So, ladies and gentlemen, for your notebook, number 3, Moroccan Retreat for the win, and number 8, Bon Voyage, One Day or Day One, and Stage World for the placings. Before ending the show, Devon, I now ask you about your best bets of the day.
Yeah, my best bet comes up in race 5, Chosen Way. We're going to have a little competition here. You obviously going with
Magnum Piano.
Is that your best bet on the day as well?
Yes, and also in race 4, horse number 7, Hidden Identity.
Look, I think Hidden Identity is probably one of the better bets on the day. I don't make him my best bet. I make Wars of the Brovnik my second best bet of the day. Well, I think that should be my first, and Chosen Way will be my second. My value bet comes up in race 2. Horse number 1, Believe in the Future. I think he's a lot of value, and I think he can go very close.
He could upset the odds, you think?
100%. I think he's a big runner. I wouldn't be surprised to see him running in the first 3, if not winning it. And my second value bet, which could have actually been my best bet on the day, is number 1 in race 3, Christmas Bay. I'm very confident on him. I think it's going to be hard to beat him. And your value bet for the day?
In race 7, horse number 5, Captain Persia.
Okay. Yeah, I think that is a good value bet. I can't give a value bet in every single race, so I've just got to
Indeed.
find the ones that I think are the right.
So big thanks to you, Devon, for your presence today and your analysis.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and also, I mean, we mustn't forget to mention that the People's Tote is open and that the people can play with it, and internationals will soon be available to play with it. It's still working in the program. I mean, obviously, we're working on that portal. I think it will be a big benefit for racing to have some international investment into the game. I mean, if you need to contact them, obviously you just get hold of them on People's Tote or at www.peoplestote.com, or you can give them a call on 260-4710. I think they'll definitely give you some feedback into how you can go about playing on the tote. And I mean, we need the people to play on the tote. That's what generates funds for the racing, as it does everywhere else in the world. So I think it's important for the public to support what gets put back into the industry. So yeah, I think definitely the right place. I mean, they offer tote guarantees that are just out of this world. I mean, it's a very, very good initiative from them, and I think it's definitely something that the public should take note of.
Indeed, indeed. And finally, I'd like to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching our race previews as usual. And I will not end this show without making a special mention to our wonderful technical and production team behind the scene, and hoping to see you tomorrow at PTP Champ de Mars for a great racing day.
Yeah, and from our side as well, a massive thank you to the technical team, to the media, to People's Turf, for giving us this opportunity, and yeah, for the public for being there. And yeah, it's going to be a good day's racing. Obviously, once again, our deepest sympathies to the Pedro stable, and to the Pedro family, to everyone that's involved in his family. I wish them all the best in this tough time. And yeah, on a happier note, good racing to the people that's racing with us on Saturday, and I think it will be
for the match. Choose and wear Magnum Pia.
100%. Just remember that we are racing for chocolate this time. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a good day's racing. It was a pleasure being alongside you. Thank you to you for your feedback as well. And yeah, I wish everyone all the best and good punting.
Till then, take care. Bye bye.